Welcome, everyone. The line movers are back for week 4 in the NFL. I'm joined by Nick Lee and Zach Scarborough out of Houston, Texas. You might have heard of him. ESPN Radio with Jimmy Ott discussing basketball. I'm Tyler Liddick, and you've heard of Nick before on Iowa Wise Guys podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube, and we'll be with you till the NFL season concludes this year. And we're going to be helping you out all week long, all year long, breakdowns, picks, analysis, a couple new betting strategies and tips as we go along. So hope you guys join us each week as you have been. And we thank you for joining us and being along for the ride. Let's get into this week's action. So first thing we want to talk about is just a little bit of elaboration on last week. We talked about teasers, things of that nature. This week, we want to talk about finding the best line. It's pretty simple. If you're betting on the money line, you don't want to pay 150 when you can pay 145. You don't want to pay 155 when you pay 140 somewhere else. And when you're giving points, we want to make sure we're looking for the best line. You know, most people have access to multiple sports books. I know in Pennsylvania, I think there's 11. Nick, you got a couple in Iowa. Zach, I know you use a couple different ones as well. So with that being said, if you're gambling on a spread and you see a -3 at FanDuel at -112 and you see it over at DraftKings at -105, that's 7 cents a juice or $7 you're paying essentially every time you place the bet. So over the long run, if you're placing 8 bets on a Sunday on NFL football and you're paying $7 to $10 extra in juice, that's $56 to $80 in juice extra you've paid over a Sunday. It's not a winning strategy. So keep that in mind. Always search for the best line. There's websites out there. You can use VSiN, you can use Vegas Insider, you can use Odds Jams. There's many of websites out there to look at, give you odds comparisons real quick, and you don't even have to do the research yourself. So Zach, Nick, you guys got anything to add to that?
I mean, I think that also to your point, not just the same line at different, but a lot of times those lines are different by half a point. If you want to buy a half a point already, you might be able to find it elsewhere without buying a half a point for cheaper. So to be a successful bettor, you need to be on many different books, getting the best price you can.
And it's so easy now. You mentioned it there too, Tyler. With mobile apps now, it's so easy, right at your fingertips. You know, I use 4 or 5 different online apps here in Iowa. Very simple to sit there and go through your apps, find the best number. Take the time to do it.
Yeah, guys, you can seriously make a lot more money in the long run by taking your time to do that. So with all that being said, let's get into the featured games this week. Starting off 1:00 Sunday afternoon, Panthers visiting the Cowboys. Panthers in a resurgent after the second-year coach Matt Rule drafts all defense in the first year, 8 picks, all defense. Offense is coming around. They signed Sam Darnold. Going into Dallas, playing a high-flying Dallas offense and coming off a big victory Monday night against the Eagles. Zach, do the Panthers have enough defense to stop the Dallas offense?
I'm not sure. The Cowboys offense has looked really good. Their defense actually looked really good. I think picking up Dan Quinn for the defensive coordinator was an excellent choice. I think he's going to do a lot for that defense. I think that we have some talented young guys. Diggs with 3 interceptions already, 1 pick 6. I'm worried about the Panthers without Christian McCaffrey because I don't believe he's playing, which is probably why that line is sitting where it's at right now. Sam Darnold looked great in the second half last week without Christian McCaffrey. I just want to read Sam Darnold, by the way, is 6th overall in QBR rating. That's ahead of Tom Brady. He's 9th overall in yards. That's ahead of Josh Allen right now. We talked about him at plus 10,000 for MVP last week. He's down to plus 8,000. As far as a play, I don't have a play on this game right now. I'm going to probably sit and wait, maybe watch the start of the game and see if I can get something in play. But I expect it to be a good game.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, but I think over in the second half, I think Dallas pulls away. I think, we mentioned it last week a little bit. The Panthers have the number one defense in the NFL right now, but I don't think it matters what defense is playing Dallas. There's too many weapons on offense. And I think if you're playing Dallas, you're going to have to be able to score points. And I just worry about Carolina's ability to keep up for 4 quarters without Christian McCaffrey. I think I think that, with McCaffrey in the backfield, open some things up with him. I think he likes playing that offense. But when you lose the number one back in the NFL, I think it's going to put a lot more pressure on Sam. And I don't know if he can keep up without McCaffrey, keep up with that Dallas offense. I'll take Dallas -4.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know if Carolina is going to be able to keep up in the long run with McCaffrey out, having to make that adjustment. Dallas defense seems like they're beginning to get in sync, getting some pass rush. Micah Parsons is a huge addition. And I really think that it's going to be a close game throughout. I like Zach making his case for Sam Darnold for MVP early and often. So I like that game, 1:00 game. I think it's going to be competitive. And I think 4.5 is probably too many points. If you can get under 4 somewhere, I would give under 4, but I would not give over 4. All right, next game, moving along. Chiefs at Eagles. Are the Eagles going to rebound, and are the Chiefs going to go and reclaim Andy Reid's throne in Philadelphia? He just left Arrowhead to the hospital. Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be back? We don't know. This game currently sits at 54.5 and plus 7.5 for the Eagles. Nick, what do you got here?
I like Kansas City. I think that, the one thing that points against Kansas City is, they're 2-12 last 14 ATS. They're not a team that covers the spread very often, because a lot of their times their spreads are where they're out of whack. Everybody sees the high flying Chiefs offense. They want to bet on them. That doesn't matter what the number is. They're taking them. But I think you got a little bit of value here with the Chiefs coming off 2 straight losses. And again, just like we talked about Dallas, I think you have to have an offense to keep up with the Chiefs. I don't think that Philly has that offense. Kansas City's defense is suspect, but I think if the Chiefs prevent the turnovers they had last week, I mean, that was a game down to the wire. The Chiefs had 4 turnovers. If the Chiefs don't turn the ball over, somebody's going to have to keep up with them score wise. And I just don't think Philly's that team. I'll take Kansas City 6.5 points.
I agree with Nick here. I'm going to actually probably use this in a tease situation, get that down to 1.5. I don't see Patrick Mahomes with his back against the wall. I'm actually looking at this first half -4. I expect him to come out blazing. They did last week. Like you said, they had 4 turnovers. They should have scored on the first 2 drives. They should have scored a lot. They should have probably won and covered that game, but they lost. They've lost 2 in a row. Going to the Eagles, I lean over and Chiefs first half.
Yeah, I think Dallas showed the recipe to beat Philadelphia this week, and that's spread them out. The more you spread them out, the less they can utilize that front 4 they have. And I don't think Kansas City is going to be having a problem spreading anyone out. It's pretty simple for them to do. That's what they like to do. And yes, Patrick Mahomes is not a happy guy. 1-2, probably, I think, for the first time in his career. And with that being said, I believe they'll handle the first half pretty handily, and probably the game by a lot. I think it's going to be a statement. Defense is going to need to learn to get right sooner or later. And it can happen against a young quarterback who we've just seen last week is turnover prone. So I
think that's a big point there, Tyler, is that, you saw it last week when Hurts had to put the offense on his back to keep up with Dak Prescott in that offense. He was not able to do it.
Yeah. And that could happen early this week with Kansas City trying to get right. So we're going to see what Jalen Hurts is made of if he wants to throw the ball. You heard what he said after the game. You flush a turd after you take it. So that's what he plans to do with that performance. We'll find out. On to the next one. Cardinals at the Rams, divisional matchup. Both 3-0. Cardinals have a squeaky win over Minnesota, a comeback win versus the Jaguars. They're scoring a lot of points. This has gone from a total of 50 to 55. And we still have the Rams at -4.5. Zach, what do you got here?
I mean, who's going to stop the Rams right now? I mean, they look incredible on both sides of the ball. Murray's 0-4 against this team. I think that they'll be able to contain him with that defensive line. And I think they'll be, Ramsey out there on Hopkins is a great matchup. Divisional game in this division, I think this is too many points. I know we've two high flying offenses, but NFC West, I think I'm going under 55 here.
I couldn't agree with Zach more. You think that, I think Arizona has the team to keep up with the Rams. And we talk about the offenses, high flying offenses, but the Rams have a very good defense. The Cardinals defense is ranked, I think, right on the fringe of a top 10 defense in the NFL. You mentioned it early, Tyler. The total's moved up 4 or 5 points. I'll be on the under on this game. If I was taking a side, I still think this is going to be a field goal game either way. If I'm getting 4.5 points in a division game, I'm going to take Arizona on the side.
Okay, I see. Where I'm looking here is the under. I've seen it's gone up 5 points. Usually, anytime I see a 5-point line move, I'll go the other way. Market correction, you can call it that, but I see a divisional game. That Rams game should have been under last week for us. We all liked it. Tom Brady goes down the field with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, 88 yards for absolutely no reason, gets pummeled a couple of times, horrible coaching decision to leave him in there. And then Tom Brady's on the bench freaking out that they didn't get the onside kick. It was absolutely foolish when you're down 17 at that point. But yeah, I'll be on the under here, divisional game. And I think the Rams will have the answers for Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. So they're going to have to use some different weapons. I like the Rams cornerbacks. They're very physical. I'll be on the under for this one. All right. Another divisional game out west, Seahawks at 49ers. We saw the 49ers lose a heartbreaker on Monday Night Football, and the Seahawks, no answers for anyone in the passing game yet this year. Kirk Cousins carved them up this past weekend. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to do the same this weekend, Nick? It's sitting at a -3 for the 49ers right now, over under 52. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, this spread is dialed right on where you would think it would be. A divisional game, San Fran and Seattle, field goal in San Francisco, the home team's favor. Seattle struggling on defense, not the typical Seattle defense we're accustomed to seeing with Pete Carroll there. The Niners did get George Kittle going a little bit last week. I got involved in the offense a little bit more. I think the offense is getting a little stronger. And I'm not so sure. This is a tough game to handicap, but I do think that with the San Francisco offense at home and the struggling Seattle defense, I don't have a strong conviction on this game, but I will take San Francisco -3.
I agree. I'm also San Francisco. I think that offense is, it's got too many weapons for Seattle to stop them, basically. And I think that their defense is going to be able to contain Russell Wilson. I also, divisional game, 52, I think, is it 52 where it sits at right now? I think that's where it was.
Yeah.
I saw it. I also lean towards this under. I think only twice in the last 10 meetings has it gone over this number. I expect it to be a gritty game and another divisional under. So I'll take it at 52.
Yeah, I expect it to be a good divisional game, probably going to end as a 3-point game like they usually do. So really, if you can't get under 3 and get a -2.5, I'd probably be taking the 3.5. Other than that, kind of a complete stay away from me. These teams go back and forth every year. You don't really know the vibe yet. Both teams aren't really playing that well. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo has the team where he should have the team, and I don't know that the team has Jimmy Garoppolo's back the way that you would expect a team to back their quarterback. So with that being said, this is a complete layoff for me unless I can get under that 3, get a 2.5, and get the best number. Sunday Night Football, Tom Brady, 19 AFC East divisional championships, 7 Super Bowl trophies, 6 of them in New England, going back to visit Foxborough and Bill Belichick Sunday Night Football. We got a start at 5.5, and it's now at 7. It opened at 50, and it's down to 49. Nick, what do you see Tom Brady doing to Bill Belichick on Sunday Night Football?
I definitely think this is the most hyped game of the week. I don't know if it's the best game, but obviously gets the most national attention. And we'd be fools to say that Tom Brady is not motivated to go in there and stick it to Bill Belichick. And I think the Tampa team needs a victory coming off that loss. I think the team is going to rally around Tom Brady and want to show them, show the Patriots that Tom was coming back there with a vengeance. And so I think that the Tampa D steps up. I think they force some Mac Jones turnovers. And I'm not going to go against Tom Brady. We've seen it time and time again when Tom Brady is motivated and he's dialed in, he comes out and performs at a high level. I think he does that this Sunday. I'll take the Bucs at -6.5.
I agree with you also there, Nick. Could be a lot of Brady jerseys in the stands. I expect him to come out super fired up. I think he's going to break the NFL passing record in the first half. I do like him to cover this 6.5 line. Don't know about the over under. Don't know if the Pats are going to be able to score. They did not look good last week. Where I'm going to be looking, don't have anything on him yet, but I will be looking at pretty much all the Brady prop bets on overs. I think, especially last week, as you said, he was in there all the way to the last second of the game, throwing touchdown passes meaninglessly. I don't see any reason why he's going to want to come out of any game this season after watching that. So I think he goes off.
Yeah, I don't see him playing too kindly on Sunday Night Football, and I think he's going to have that defense fired up. I think 7 is not enough points for that game. I don't think Tom Brady's going to take his foot off the gas, and I would lay the 7. I know it's prime time. I know Bill Belichick knows how to game plan for Tom Brady, obviously, but it doesn't matter. Tom Brady knows how to game plan for him as well. And,
you know, one thing not to interrupt you there, Tyler, but one thing not to overlook is the fact that Rob Gronkowski is coming back to New England. Antonio Brown is coming back if he ends up playing. He has some built-up animosity towards Bill Belichick and how that situation was handled as well. So there's several players on that Tampa team that want to come in there and stick it to the New England organization. So that also plays effect on Sunday night.
Yeah, I think things could get pretty ugly pretty quickly. So let's move on to Monday Night Football. Raiders at Chargers. Battle of the AFC supremacy here. Kind of middle of the pack, but the Broncos are 3-0. Chiefs are 1-2. So one of these teams got to keep heading in the right direction if they want to stay on top, remain above the Chiefs. Chargers beat them last week. Do you see the Chargers going 2-0 in the division early? Zach?
I do like the Chargers here. I don't think anybody expected Las Vegas to be 3-0 to start the season. Their offense is the best in the NFL right now, averaging over 30 points a game. The Chargers haven't shown that they can really stop anybody. They didn't stop Kansas City. Kansas City stopped themselves. They didn't stop Dallas. I don't see them stopping this Las Vegas offense. Their defense is playing great. They're fast, young, fast. They all run to the ball well. But I don't see them stopping the Chargers offense. I was surprised to see this line open at 53 and come down to 52.5 is where I saw it last. Give me the over.
Yeah, I think the public's going to jump all over the Chargers here because of the win in Kansas City last week. And I just, I don't discredit what the Vegas Raiders have done. I mean, they've got wins over Baltimore, over Pittsburgh, Miami, which two of those might not look as sexy as they did originally, but that Baltimore one looks pretty good right now. And as Zach alluded to, Vegas has the number 1 offense in the league right now. Derek Carr is playing at a high level. He's got some offensive weapons. I love getting the hook here. I do like the over, but I'm going to be on Vegas on Monday night +3.5. I love getting the hook there. I'll take Vegas +3.5.
Yeah, I expect a close game as well. I think the Raiders have more than what everyone expects. We've been discounting them all year, and I think it's time to start looking a little bit closer at the Raiders and that offense. Darren Waller can stretch the field, and he's a matchup nightmare for anyone. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a real close game, and I think that Derek Carr is a winner. He's a proven winner, not in the postseason yet, but he pulls games out and he's tough. And Monday Night Football, I'll be on the Raiders plus 3.5 as well. So that's it for featured games this week, guys. Nick, you got something to say real quick?
The one thing I was thinking about too is that stadium might be filled with more Raiders fans than it will be Chargers fans. You know, going back to Los Angeles is not a Chargers town at this point. It's more pro Rams than Chargers. Getting the Raiders coming back to an area where they've been for years, that stadium could be a home field advantage actually for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. So that wraps up the featured games, guys. Now, surprise question for both of you. I don't know who wants to go first, but what is it going to take for us to turn around our Westgate competition picks right now? We are not doing well. The NFL is a lot harder game than what everybody thinks it is. 3 heads are better than 1, but maybe that's not the case here, huh, guys? What's it going to take, Nick?
We've had some close losses. We've had some unfortunate things go against us. I think early in the season, it's very tough when you start handicapping, especially in those contests when the lines come out on Tuesday or Wednesday. But I think we got a good I think we're heading in the right direction. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think we'll turn it around.
I agree. We've definitely taken some tough losses already, but that's no excuse. Hard to handicap early. I think this is for me. I always take it easy the first couple of weeks of the NFL for that reason. We don't know the teams, the new coaches, the new personnel, how they're going to mesh together. I think as the season goes on, especially here getting into weeks 4, we have a better knowledge of the identity of the team and what they're capable of and what they're trying to do. So I really look forward to the next 3 or 4 weeks where I think lines maybe aren't as tight as they could be, and good coaching will prevail. I think good coaches will get their teams right faster than the alternatives. So I look forward to the next 3 weeks. Let's take 1 week at a time. See if we can't go 4-1 or 5-0 this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all fun and games, right? It's all about the competition and the camaraderie, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. The NFL is the hardest racket in all of sports. It's proven every Sunday. You make money on Saturday, give it back on Sunday. So something next week we'll have for you guys. We're going to talk about live betting opportunities and hedging opportunities. So come back next week, learn some more with us. Stay tuned for some more featured games. Follow us on Twitter at WiseGuysNick, at Zach Scarborough 6, at Tyler Liddick, and at @the_LM Network. You can find us on YouTube. You can also find us where you can find your audio podcast, Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Have a good weekend.
This video was brought to you by River Donkeys Poker Club, but not in association with the Line Movers Network. Start playing today by downloading the app on Google Play or the Apple iTunes Store by searching for Poker, 4 R's with the number 2. Search for the group 5AZR7 to start playing poker today.